So welcome. The Scene presents the dish. I am your host, Germ So True. I got my guys with me. I got Jorge. I got my guy Artie. And we here this evening. We gonna kick back. We're gonna talk about some of this top 10 power rankings today. We're gonna also discuss the playoff picture, the playoff settings moving forward, and all of that good stuff. But man, look, at the end of the day, make sure you guys check it out. Subscribe to the channel, The Scene. We just gonna go ahead and dive right into this, man. We're gonna go on and dive right into this thing. So first and foremost, we have our power rankings, our top 10. I'm gonna start with Artie, and we're gonna go from the bottom all the way up to the top. Let's start with the honorable mentions. We got an
Right.
honorable mention, and I'm gonna let Artie start. We're gonna go to Jorge, and then we'll get right into it. Let's go.
Our first honorable mention, so this would be in our 12th spot, or our 11th spot, the first honorable mention, will be the Miami Marlins. The reason we have them here, it was close. We debated them with our 10th team, but the reason why we have them here is because of how they perform in regular 9 inning games. In regular 9 inning games, they're 16-20. In doubleheader games that last only 7 innings, they're 8-2. So that 16-20 leaves you at a 444 win percentage. 8-2 leaves you at 800. Those combined leave you at 24-22, 2 games over 500. They look good on paper, but in the playoffs, and these top 10 teams, these are playoff contenders. In the playoffs, you're not going to be playing doubleheader games, and you're not going to be playing 7 inning games. So how they fare in actual 9 inning games in an actual baseball game, 16-20. They're not much better than a lot of teams in these situations. So that's why we have them on the outside looking in right now. If they can improve on the regular games, on the 9 inning games, they can make our list.
Jorge, you got an interesting team that is not making the top 10 this week. Who you got?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah. We had to kick out the tribe, man. They've been playing some sloppy, horrible baseball. 7 losses in a row. And we were talking about them about a week ago and saying they're only a game out of first place. Well, since then, 6 games out of first place. The only way they're going to make it into the playoffs is if they make it into that 8th spot. And right now, they only really have a 4-game lead on Seattle, with Seattle's creeping up on them. And they have the pitching, but as we said all year long, their bats are still cold. Who knows if they'll wake up? That's why they got to play better if they're going to make our top 10. And who knows if they will next week.
All right, so let's dive into it. Number 10, Artie, take it away.
New York Yankees are our 10th team on the list this week. As I said, we debated they're 2 games in the win column up on the Marlins as of last night. So we debated whether or not we put the Marlins in. The Marlins are pretty hot. The Yankees are hot, but the Yankees are one of the hottest teams in baseball. I mean, practically, went pretty big win streaks yesterday. They beat the Blue Jays, I believe, 19-3 or something like that. So the bats are showing up for the Yankees, something that we kind of question where are they going to come from? People were injured. People are coming back. When are they going to come? Where are they going to come from? The bats have shown up. The Yankees have put up double digits runs in the last 3 of 6 games, I believe. So they're now hitting the ball, and they're not giving up many runs either. The 3 runs last night, they won a game, I believe, like 15-1. They're not giving up many runs either. So they're pitching well as well. So that combination for the Yankees team with an offense like that is very scary. They made our number 10. They've been up and down in our list every week, but they're 10 now because of that.
Number 9, Jorge, take it away.
The Atlanta Braves, well, they lead the NL East. That's not really saying much because the NL East is not that good of a division right now. But they're 3.5 games up there. In their last 10, they're 6-4. And 5 of those wins actually are against the East, being that they beat the Marlins and the Nationals. They are having a horrible series right now against Baltimore, which they lost the first game 14-1, and right now they're actually losing 3-0 against Baltimore. like we said, they lost some pitching. Their pitching needs to get a little better if they're going to make some noise. They do have that lineup. Any lineup that has Acuna, Ozuna, and Freeman, you know you're going to get some runs. The only thing is, can the pitching hold up? And right now, it's struggling. But we have them in there just because we didn't see anybody fit to take over as far as that spot.
Number 8, we got the Blue Jays. Artie, take it away.
Same thing Jorge just said. This team right here was on our lower end. Them, the Cubs, and the Braves, they all with similar records, all playing the same, way in the last week or so. The Blue Jays did lose big yesterday to the Yankees. We didn't see it as enough for the Yankees to hop over the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are still up about 2 games on them right now. So we believe that the Blue Jays fit in this spot just because it's the same thing with the Braves. It's kind of like there's inconsistencies here and there. You see glimpses of greatness, which you see from all of these teams, and then some days you get beat 17-3. So it's kind of been up and down in the last week of baseball. So not many changes, but the Blue Jays stay on our list and are number 8.
Number 7, we got the Cubs of Chicago. Jorge, take that one.
Yeah, last 10 games, 6-4, which is a pretty good record. Well, we had them on our last list, 9th, and we're giving them a little bit more respect. Reason being, behind Darvish, they actually had some pretty good pitching. They had their no-hitter thrown against the Brewers the other night, and then also Hayward, he's coming to life, man. He hit a game-winning 3-run home run against Hader in the ninth inning. I'm sorry, so they could take the lead 3-2 and win that game. They wound up winning 4-2. Listen, Darvish has been great for them this year. Now, they have a lineup, of course, but they also need somebody else to pick it up other than you, Darvish, which we'll see in the playoffs if they have that. But as of right now, they definitely do deserve that love in that 7th spot.
All right, number 6, we got the Twins, Minnesota.
Again, we're getting into our next tier of teams. I would say this is probably the second tier of teams, and Minnesota starts us off at the lower end of that tier. Again, been playing pretty consistent baseball as of late. They were up and down, very inconsistent. Winning 7 games straight, losing 6 games straight, winning 5 games straight. Right now, they're kind of playing 500 ball, or maybe a game over 500 or 2 games over 500 of every 10 games. So the Twins, they fit into this spot. They're pitching much better. They're actually blanking some teams last week. So they are pitching much better. And again, a lineup that can produce a lot of home runs, kind of similar to what we have with the Yankees.
All right. Then number 5, we got the Rays.
The Rays, like Jerem likes to say. So they've been playing 500 ball the last 10 games, which is not great, but we're about to get into our top 4, and we saw it fit that with that 500 record, we put them in the 5th spot in the lower tier of our top half of the list. They're playing 500. There's still 500 ball, like I said, but there's still 4 games up on the Yankees. So that's a lot to say, and we've only got about 2 weeks left of the season. So can they hold on to that spot? We'll see. The Yankees are getting hot. They're getting healthy. But, we know that they have the pitching to be there, and they belong to be there. Now, can they be consistent and stay there? We'll see.
Number 4, we got the Athletics.
The Oakland Athletics. It's a team that we've seen in the past. They stay exactly the same almost year by year. They don't spend a lot of money, and they're producing results. Except when they get into the postseason, they're losing. They're not taking that next big step. This year, they have a chance. They have a good chance. They're up, I think, 5 games on the Astros. I could be wrong on that, but I believe they're up a considerable amount on the Astros, and they're going to put away the AL West at any time now. So they're playing good ball. They need to get their bats to come all the way alive too, if they're going to compete with some of these American League teams. All these American League teams besides the Rays can hit very well. So pitching either has to be at an all-time high, or your batting needs to level out with these teams. But right now we're seeing both with this A's club, and that's why we have them at number 4.
Padres. Go ahead,
So
Padres.
let's just call them, how about for Zach, let's just call them the Clevengers. How about that? That's what we're going to call them. So they've been 8-2 in their last 10. The only 2 losses are actually against the Dodgers and the A's. Well, the last 3, because they actually just lost to the Dodgers. So that's actually pretty damn good. That's a good week of 2 weeks of baseball, let's say. And let me point this out for Zach too. Clevenger, he's 2-1. He's only allowed 6 runs. He has 2 quality starts. He had a 7-inning complete game shutout, and he has a 3-run average. So, like I said it before, it's not what he can do for the Padres, is what can the Padres do for him. If you're allowing 3 runs with that lineup, you're gonna get a W.
Well, shouts out to my guy Zach Westrick. He got those West tricks. I don't know what's been going on, but he's not able to be here with us tonight. But we're gonna get him on. Don't worry. We're gonna let Jorge and Zach just debate. Me and Artie just gonna sit here and watch a pop of popcorn. Number 2, White Sox, Chicago.
The most exciting team in baseball to watch, and one of the hottest teams throughout the last forever so far this year. They are creeping up on the Dodgers, as the Padres were, but they dropped to the Dodgers. They're creeping up on the Dodgers. This team is young. This team is exciting. My only problem with them, and the issue I think we have with them going forward, is Giolito is a Cy Young candidate pitcher. And the only thing keeping them out of that number 1 spot right now is who is number 2? Who is the next pitcher? Who is the next pitcher after that? You can score a lot of runs. Again, all the AL teams can so far. The ones that we've named, they all can score a lot of runs. This team, the only thing that separates them is they can play every style of baseball offensively. They can hit the long ball. They can get you singles with Anderson. They can hit the long ball with the young studs there. They can pitch well. Can it hold up in the playoffs? That remains to be seen. They can run. They can defend. There's nothing that you shouldn't like about this team besides depth in their starting pitching. And that's about it. And that's what's keeping them number 2 right now. If they had another pitcher to go with that, with Giolito, I'm sure they'd have a better record than the Dodgers. So number 2 right now for the White Sox.
And number 1, the Dodgers. What a shocker.
Right? I mean, let's just say what it is. Best team in baseball. They really are, and they have been all year. I mean, they've only lost 1 series this entire year. That's crazy. I mean, even though we're only playing 2 months of baseball, to say that, that's wild. And we only have 2 weeks left. And the first team to clinch a playoff berth tonight because they beat the Padres. So they're in the playoffs. I mean, they're the only team that can say that at the moment. They're just stacked. They're good. Now, are they going to win the World Series finally? Who knows?
So our next topic of discussion, just to run it back for everybody and to get to some of the comments involved, we have number 1, the Dodgers. Just the Dodgers. The number 1, the Dodgers, followed by the White Sox at 2, with the Padres at 3, the Oakland Athletics at 4, the Rays at 5, the Twins at 6, the Cubs at 7, Blue Jays 8, Braves 9, and the Yankees 10, with honorable mention the Marlins and the sliding Cleveland Indians. So with that being said, let's get a couple of these comments in. We got Mo. Mo says, hey, he said the Marlins, he just can't with them. Then he says, damn, my Braves dropped. Victor Santana is finally in the building. Wow, that's interesting.
Oh.
He says, yo, yo, yo. He didn't say much else, but I think the Bronx Bombers got a little bit better. So now he wants to show up to the show. Then we got Trav said, where's Ty? I need another highlight live reel. And he also says Mookie Betts. And then we got Mo now on the other account now saying yo. So Mo, you on too many accounts, my guy. Come on, man. You just lucky I'm not confused. Otherwise, I just want to shout you out. I'm just playing. Now, but with that being said, let's go to the playoff settings because as we're 2 weeks away from the baseball playoffs and having the full fledged October hunt going on, where the October hunt is on, but having the October quest going on. So, what are some of the things that people need to look out for? Let's start with you, Jorge.
Look out for? I mean, I say starting pitching, man. Like, let's see how these managers play it. Like we know LA, they already clinched. Are they going to save? Are they not going to pitch Kershaw as much? Are they not going to, use their bullpen as much? What are they going to do? Are they going to maybe have a spot start for Kershaw? That's interesting to see. And if he does have a spot start, how long are they going to let him go? Are they going to let him go 4 innings, 5 innings? I mean, honestly, I think what they should do is probably hold off, give him an extra day rest, pitch him 4 to 5 innings, and do the same thing right before the playoffs, so you can start game 1 and be fresh. They haven't been pitching them as much starting pitching this year because it's a short season. So, save his arm for the playoffs. I want to see how managers, especially the top half of our list, the top 5, how are they going to use their starting pitching, or how are they going to use their bullpen going into the playoffs? That's what I want to see.
Anything for you, Artie?
That's something that I haven't thought of, what Jorge just said, and that's pretty interesting. I think, just my opinion, I think they just keep going in the same rhythm. I mean, you're not going to overpitch anybody for sure. Even if you got a no-hit bid, you're not overpitching anybody. But I think they just keep in the same rhythm. I mean, if we've seen in the past for the Dodgers, once Kershaw's out of his rhythm, it's going to take a minute for him to get it back. So I think they stay within the same rhythm and try to get everybody their innings, and maybe some confidence booster games where if a pitcher's gone 5 good innings, he's out of the game, and he can sit on that he pitched well in his last appearance. Just something mental. So that's actually a good point that I never thought of. So,
and I also want to bring up something too, what we're going to do as far as what they're going to do as far as the wild card games. We're only going to see 3 wild card games, so your ace is only going to go one of those starts, whether you like it or not. And what are you going to do for the other two games if it goes 3? Well, are you going to just, throw a bullpen game in there maybe after you win game 1, or are you just going to go, like for instance, let's say the Rays, that we know they don't have pitching. Are they going to throw a bullpen game if they win game 1? Are they going to throw a normal starter and then go bullpen? Because you're not going to get 2 games out of your ace like you do a regular 5 or 7 game series.
That's interesting, and the answer for the Dodgers there is we've seen it multiple times where Kershaw, he'll start, and then if it's an elimination game, he'll come out of the pen. I'm sure you'll have that in the 3rd game, and that's going to be tough because, I mean, just the logistics. I wonder if they play a 3-game series with the games being consecutive days. That would be different. I mean, that would be, if there's no break in between, that's 1 day rest, and your starter may have to be back on the mound in game 3 and out of the bullpen, if you so choose. So if Blake Snell does go 6 innings in the game of 7-0, or 5 innings in the game 7-0, do you take him out at that point? Or, like a Kershaw, if the game's 10-0 in the 4th inning, do you keep pitching him? Just, maybe you don't want to manage with we might lose tomorrow mentality, but you always have to think about that. You always have to think about that. I mean, we're human, and we're always going to think about, what if we do lose? What are we going to do in that situation? So, yeah, I mean, and that's why these guys get paid the big bucks, because you kind of have to try to set that one to the side, set that thought to the side. And it's hard to do, but those are very, very interesting points. And I think the most interesting point is then when we get into the playoffs and the format of how the playoffs are actually going to be, we get into that first round. And I kind of want Jorge to let us know, how's the first round going to go, in terms of the logistics and where teams are going to be playing.
Well, right now, the way they have it set is to where there's going to have 2 different sets of wild card games, meaning the first 8 teams are going to play what's called a wild card round. They're going to play each other, which the highest seed is going to have home field advantage, meaning the highest seed is going to have all 3 games in their stadium. Now, out of those series, whichever are the top 2 that advance in the AL and National League get to host the next set of wild card games in their stadium as well. So let's just take, for instance, the Dodgers, since they're number 1, and we've been talking about them. If they win, they're going to go in as a top seed. If they win that series and they go into the next wild card set of games, they're going to host another 3-game set if it goes 3 games. So it's best of 3 basically. So we can get 2-game sweep. That's how it's going to go. That's how it's going at the moment.
Right. So now that we have all that being said, we can now paint the playoff picture for the people. The current playoff picture, it is still subject to change because, as we said, we still have a couple weeks left in the season. So with that being said, fellas, we have the playoff picture here. I'll actually read off the playoff picture for you guys, and then we can really just get the commentary going off of it. That way, you guys don't have to do too much extra. But starting in at number 1, we're going to start with the American League. With the American League, we have the White Sox in at number 1. Currently 32-16. They will be the number 1 seed. They have a 2-game lead here on the Rays, a 2.5-game lead because we have 31-18 for the Rays. Then we're followed by the Athletics, the Twins, the Yankees, Blue Jays, Indians are 7, and the Astros at 500 are the current 8 seed, and they are ahead 2 games and 2 losses on the Mariners. So first things first, out of these 8 teams, do you feel like we get any fluctuation here in the standings right now? Do you think that the Indians can move up? Who do you think is going to move up? Who do you think may move down? Those type of things.
I'll go first. I would say that the teams in the American League Central, you have the Indians, the Twins, and the White Sox. I think the White Sox have made a pretty good lead on those teams, but since they do have divisional games left, you might see some movement from the Indians and the Twins. Because that second place spot gets you in; it's a guarantee. So you might see some movement there. As far as the other divisions go, you might see them, like Jorge brought up in the beginning of the show, you might see some movement with the Rays and the Yankees switching spots in terms of division winners. But besides that, I think everything else stays nearly the same. I looked at the wild card race last night, and it doesn't seem like, there's like 4 games behind the teams that would need to be in that second wild card spot, which would be the 8th spot this year. They're like 4 games behind, so it's going to be kind of tough. So it's all divisional stuff right now, and I think the only division that you can see things playing out in is maybe the East, but more than likely the Twins and the Indians may have a battle there for second place.
I actually on the AL side, I gotta add one more. Then that was, I agree with what Artie said. The only thing I see switching up, and if it happens, is actually, you know what? Take that back. You're right. It's 4 games with 2 weeks. No, never mind. I don't see it happening. I agree with Artie. It's more than likely going to stay the same. Just the Yankees or Tampa Bay will flip flop, and if the Yankees stay hot, that'll probably happen just because we've seen it before with the Rays.
Got you. So now we got the AL. We got the Dodgers at 35-15. They lead the conference. We got the Braves at 29-20, the Cubs at 29-20, Padres at 32-19, Marlins at 24-22, Phillies at 24-23, Cardinals at 500, and then the Giants are 23-24, 1 game under 500, and they are the 8th seed currently, with the actual Cincinnati Reds at 24-26. Which is about a half game or so out, a game and a half out. Fellas, let's start with the Reds and the Giants here. We got 2 weeks of baseball left. We got the Reds at 24-26, And we got the Giants at 23 and 24. Do the Reds have a chance to maybe steal this playoff spot?
Hell yeah. Especially with that pitching. And we talked about it on the very first show. If that pitching gets it going, let's say, for instance, Castillo, his last two starts, and today, I think he pitched into the sixth. And I don't think he's allowed to run. I need to check that. I haven't checked the stats lately, but the last thing I saw, he did not allow a run going into the fifth or pitching in the fifth. If he wakes up, yeah, they could make the playoffs. They can make that eighth seed, maybe even that seventh seed, the wild card. And if they do, that's a team you do not want to play with that pitching. No way do you want to play with them because you're going to get them in the 3-game set. They're very easily can take that very first game from you. And the other 2 games, they're going to put basically a potential ace in on any other team to face you game 2 or 3. Yeah, they can take it.
Artie.
I agree with everything he said. I remember we brought this up, like he said, the first show, that if the Reds do make the dance, that's not a partner that you want to dance with. So the Dodgers, Cubs, Braves, who's ever 1 and 2, I think Dodgers and Braves right now, watch out. That's not a team that you want to see. They don't need many hits to win a game. And I'd really like that pitching staff to go against the Dodgers. I'd like to see how that works. That would be, even if the Dodgers get past them, I want to see how their offense looks against a team with very, very good pitching. So the Reds, yes. The Giants, they hit the ball well. I don't think they have enough pitching. I know if the Reds are there, I mean, the Brewers are right there too. They're both in the fight for the second place spot in the division in the Central with the Cardinals. The Brewers are playing the Cardinals right now. I think
issue with the Brewers is they're 2 games behind in the win column on the actual
right.
Reds. The Reds are 2 games behind the Giants in the loss column, but then they're a game ahead of them in the win column. So that should be interesting how that plays out, especially with the Cardinals being 500. The Cardinals are a bad week of baseball from being out of this.
Right, and the Cardinals are currently playing the Brewers in the second game of the doubleheader, which the Brewers were winning 4-0 when I last checked, but the Brewers did lose the first game, so they're 2-2 in this 4-game set so far, and this is the last game they have together, I think maybe for the season. So that's a big game for if the Brewers stay in the race or not. If the Cardinals fall back and give the Reds a push into the actual Central second spot, which would be the 6th seed, so that would be something to watch out for too. They might not just make a wild card; they could get the second spot.
Yeah, and going back to your point, we just said there's here in the NL there could be a lot more movement than the AL, and even still in the divisions, you can still the only really division that's put away. I mean, is if you're looking at the standings, is the Central. The Cubs have a 8-game lead on the Cardinals. That's all said and done. Basically, that's almost a week and a half of baseball. That's put away. Now, even in the West, I mean, they're only I think 2.5 games up. LA as far as the Dodgers or San Diego goes. I mean, you get on a bad stretch as far as the Dodgers go, and San Diego stays hot. Who knows what can happen? And the wild card right now is like we were just talking about is wide open. And then in the East is still close enough. Nobody's really pulling away. 5 games between Atlanta and Philadelphia, and even less of a gap between Atlanta and Miami. So who knows? Maybe they can be a big shift here in the playoff picture in the NL.
Right, and the biggest thing here in these playoff pictures right now are not only just the first place, but the second place in the division gets in. So the second place teams, the second place races are just as important as the first place races right now. So, since you get 2 teams from each division, and then obviously the wild card in the AL is kind of set up, but the wild card, the 7 and 8 spot in the National League isn't for sure yet. So there's a lot of things that can be moved in the National League, wild card, division, everything. If you could, Germ, if you could actually run through the matchups of the teams that would play right now in the playoffs, and if we could just go, we just not really a why, but just kind of just an answer for us who's going to win those matchups as it is standing right now. So 1-8,
Okay.
2-7.
So we got 1-8 in the AL. We got White Sox versus the Astros.
White Sox.
White Sox.
Rays versus the Indians. Rays.
The Rays. Yep.
Yeah. Rays.
Athletics versus the Blue Jays.
Oh snap.
Ooh.
I'll take the A's.
How many games?
3.
All three.
I take the Blue Jays in 3.
All right. Trying to be different around here, Jorge.
Twins versus the Yankees.
I'll take the Twins in 3, and Jorge's gonna take the Yankees in 3. Right?
You already know. Yep.
All right. So then it would be 1 and for me it would be 1 and 4, the White Sox and the Twins. I'll take the White Sox on that one, and then the other one for me would be the 2 and 3 matchup would be the Rays and the Athletics. I'll take the Rays. I'll take the Rays against the White Sox into my World Series in the American League. Jorge, who you got?
So mine would come out to be the White Sox versus the Twins, and I got the White Sox in 3.
Or the White Sox versus the Yankees, right?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. White Sox versus the Yankees, and I would say, well, is it the White? No, because it would be the Blue Jays because they're the lowest seed, right? I had the Blue Jays.
Oh, you
That's
had
my
the Blue
bad.
Jays winning.
Yeah, so it would be White Sox against Blue Jays. I would take the White Sox.
In a 5-game series?
No, it's a 3. It's still a 3-game because it's considered.
Wouldn't that be the DS by that point? Because then the CS would be right after that because it would be the last 2. Right?
You're right.
But I
take
still think you're picking.
Yeah, I still take them in 5. And
who else would you
then I would have the Rays and the Yankees.
Whew.
And I had the Yankees sweeping, which I'll take the Yankees in 3. We've seen it before with the Rays, man. It's nothing new. And then as far as
Yankees and the White Sox.
Yeah, between Yankees and White Sox in the championship series, I got the White Sox, and that's probably going to go 6 or 7 games.
All right, and then the next in the NL, we got the Dodgers versus the Dodgers. Wow, the Reds literally just got the 8th spot.
For real?
I'm dead serious.
That's going to change. That's good.
So the Giants moved down to 9, and the Reds have moved up. They are 25 and 26. They have won 5 in a row. They are now at 8.
And if you see Jorge on his paper and you see me looking to the left, our brackets have just been busted, guys.
Busted.
We're gonna have to
busted.
Bracket busters.
So he's got the White Sox
man.
in the AL. I got the Rays in the AL. And let's go through this NL real quick before it changes again.
All right, yeah. So we got the Dodgers versus the Reds. Give me the Reds. I'm disrespectful.
You know what? I'm gonna go with what Germ said. I'm gonna go with Germ said earlier. The actual Cincinnati Reds, the real Cincinnati Reds. I'm taking them, and I'm taking them in 2. I'm sorry, Ty. I'm sorry. I'm taking them in 2. The pitching is just. I'm sorry. It's the same thing that I had with the Nationals last year. I'm taking the Reds in 2 in that series as of now. I hope you don't have to play them, Ty.
You got the who you
Man,
Jorge. You try not to do it.
Yeah.
Right there. Hey. Shout out to AWalk. We got to edit our picks right now.
Yeah, right there. Shout out AWalk.
AWalk, my God.
Man. All right. Ty, Sorry, bro. I take the Reds in 3. They got the pitching in 3.
I'm sorry.
I take the
Look, it's hard to go against good pitching at this stage. At this stage in the year, all it takes is for a bad team to get in and just play good baseball.
We've said this before, Jim. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're only playing 2 seasons, so that means that a team that gets in with good pitching, they're gonna be in mid-season form. They're gonna be at their best. Mm-hmm. So you don't mess with that.
You know, they got 3 of the best in the game.
Yeah.
And I just want y'all to know that something cool happened. We had a change in the seating in the middle of a show. This is a live show, ladies and gentlemen. We got the 2-7 matchup, Braves and the Cardinals now.
Oh, another one.
Give me Jack Flaherty and Adam Wainwright and those guys. I'm taking the Cardinals. That's another upset for me. I'm taking the Cardinals, but in 3. I think it can go either way, but I'm taking the Cards in 3. I don't actually think the Cards will have that spot when it's all said and done, but taking the Cards in 3 there.
I agree.
Oh,
I got the Cards in 3.
I think. Ooh. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just glad I'm hosting today because I ain't got to pick that one. I can't pick. All right, so we got 3 and 6. We got Cubs and Phillies. Hey, this is Killjoy brackets. Y'all thought y'all came on here prepared, huh? Ha ha. Hey, y'all, just so y'all know at home, I am the worst antagonist right now because they thought they had this figured out. They didn't.
All he had to do was not refresh the page.
Right? We studied for like 2 hours yesterday. All right. So between the Cubs and Phillies, I'm gonna stick to my guns and what I had. I have the Cubs in 2. That's what I'm gonna stick to.
All right. Phillies in 3.
I agree there.
Phillies in 3.
Phillies in 3. Wow.
Ooh.
So we got the lower seeds pretty much taking these games here. Then we got the Padres and the Marlins. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the Marlins are gonna be able to score enough runs.
Yeah, Padres.
So the highest seed.
How many games we got the Padres going in? Artie.
Huh?
How many games do you have the Padres winning that? 2 or 3? Sweep or goes 3?
If there's 7-inning games, the Marlins might win. But the Padres and the Padres in 2. Padres in 2.
Okay.
I got the Padres, but in 3. I'll give the Marlins a game just because.
So now, Jorge, for yours, you have the Cubs versus the Reds and the Padres versus the Cardinals, and then for Artie, we got the Padres versus the Reds and the Phillies and the Cardinals. And I want y'all to just go ahead from those matchups and pick you guys as NL winner.
All right, give me the Cards and the Reds.
This man is. Man.
Ooh. Give me the Cards and the Reds, and give me the Reds in the World Series. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh. Yo.
He just called it.
Hey, just know this only happens with So True on the show. We got the Reds. Where is my guy category 5 at when you need him? Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
I'm gonna take that segment and I'm gonna put Vic's woo what right after it.
What?
All right. So I had the Padres Cardinals, right? I'm sticking to mine. I'm taking the Padres, and I'm taking them in. I'll take them in. It's a 5-game set, right?
Yep.
All right. I'll take them in 4. And Cubs Reds. I'm taking the Reds. Give me the Reds.
Reds and the Padres.
Give me the Reds in 5. Reds and Padres.
Then where we going?
Ooh.
Say it, Jorge. Go ahead.
Give me the
Say it with your chest.
Padres. Give me the
Okay.
Padres.
So we got the Padres versus did both of you guys
White
pick the
Sox.
White Sox?
I picked the Rays. I have the Rays.
Okay, so we got Rays, Reds, White Sox, Padres as the
Jorge, you
two
go first.
matchups that we. Now we're not even gonna go. No, we're not gonna do that for these people. No, we're not gonna do that for these people today. We're not gonna do all of that for them. Not today.
Sure. I have a surprise.
No.
I have a
This
surprise.
is a preliminary pick.
I have a surprise.
Oh, you want to? Okay. I already got a surprise. We're going to let him do this. After the surprise, we're going to get some final thoughts, and we're going to wrap up the show. Go ahead and get your surprise out.
I got the Reds winning the World Series.
Wow.
With the way the bracket is right now. The way the bracket is right now.
Jorge, what you got, man?
Wow. I'm gonna go White Sox, man. They're just too good. They're just too good. They can beat you anyway.
With that being said, I just want y'all to understand that the standards changed in the middle of the show. They both look sad and sanctimonious, like my grandma would say, because they thought they had this figured out. But just when you thought you had it figured out, I brought out the refresh button. With that being said, let me just get to the comments real quick to close out the show. Then we'll get a final thought of both of you guys. Then we'll wrap it up. Basically, we found out that Trav was the one on the Scene account doing that stuff. Trav, that's spooky. Don't do that. With all that being said, for Mo, he pretty much said you had all good points there, Jorge, when you were breaking down a couple of those teams there. Storms would be proud, I've heard. Upset Reds over the Dodgers. They're agreeing with us there. Trav even says, it all makes sense. So after that, you almost fell out your chair, and they recognized that, especially Trav. And Mo said, give him the Cubs and the Yankees. He said, don't say it with the way the bracket is. Say that with your chest. That's what Mo said. I gotta say it with your chest. That's
Vic versus Mo. Yankees and Cubs.
Right?
And
don't we get enough of that already?
Too. Then I gotta deal with that in views too, and the Nas and Jay-Z conversation. Too much. With that being said, final thoughts, fellas. Final thoughts for this week's show. I'm gonna start with you, Jorge.
All right. Well, as you guys can see, in the matter of like 20 seconds, the bracket can change, and we were just talking about that before we got into it. Let's see what this last 2 weeks of baseball has in store for us. But I really want to shout out, everybody on the Scene and everybody, and also I want to shout out Greenwood Market. If you don't know about it, get hip, like it, buy the shirts, buy some bracelets, and enjoy what the guys have on there for us. Much love to everybody.
Artie.
I just want to finish with the World Series is gonna favor the NL team just because they get to play in the Rangers ballpark longer. So I just want to point that out too. So they'll get to play 2 series in the Rangers ballpark potentially and make it to the World Series and have a familiarity with the Rangers ballpark more than any other team that's in it. And the last time all the World Series games were played in the same ballpark was in 1944, St. Louis Cardinals versus the St. Louis Browns. And I want to say shout out to Jorge for shouting out the Greenwood Market, Ham's Cookies, MJ's Apparel, the Ball U Academy, AWalk Edits, Ree's Jewelry, Ange and her custom made material, the Scene, the media network. Just support the best you can, and we look forward to serving you guys. And no more refresh buttons.
Hey, just want y'all to know that with all of that stuff being said, they did a great job of tying in some loose ends there. Just make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, The Scene, that is on YouTube, THE all caps SCEN, and make sure you guys also check out the Facebook like page as well. Like the page, we'll have content there as well, along with some of our crazy memes and things that we do there. With this being said, The Scene presents the dish. We're taking off. I am your host, Germ So True. We got Jorge and Artie. Shouts out to the rest of the baseball crew. They'll be with us next time. With that being said, we'll see you next time.